All right, guys. Hi. Thank you for getting on. Today, our team call is going to be all about mindset. And so I'm excited that you guys are joining me in the middle of the day. I understand that there are a lot of you who have to catch the recording. If that's the case, the link that I sent for the live call will be the same for the recording, and it's going to go straight to my YouTube page. For those of you who are getting on live with us now, I've just posted in the team page, and I'm going to start a thread there. Any questions that you have for Colleen throughout this call, just please post there, and then if we have time at the end, we will try to rattle off some of those to her and get some questions answered for you guys. So without taking up any more time, I'm going to go ahead and announce Colleen. She is we both started coaching. I realized this recently around the same time. She started in July of 2013. She is a Success Club 10 legend. Finished 2015 number 85 in the company out of 400,000 and an elite coach. She is 8-star qualifying currently with, I think you said, over 15 diamond coaches. But of course not in the right spots to jump over those ranks, which we all understand that frustration. And she's created a 6-figure business from a dead spot, you guys. And so I know a lot of you are in that position where you don't feel like you have an especially strong leg, which some people talk about. And so to have her on and to be proof that you can come from a spot where you do not have a strong leg, or this big power leg from your upline, and you can still create a 6-figure business is super inspiring. And so I hope that you can take that inspiration if you are someone who relates to that and run with it. But without saying much more, I'm going to go ahead and just hand it over to you, Colleen, if that's all right, and let you get started.
Cool. Awesome. You guys can hear me, right? We're good to go? All right. So just to kind of touch really quick on what Nikki was just saying, when I started this business, I took on full responsibility that this was my business and I owned it, and I had to prove myself and I had to prove to others. So although it was really hard for me at first to understand that I was in a dead spot, I almost took on a whole new responsibility of, I want to show people that I've done this from the ground up. So if you are in that position, I just want you to have a different perspective, which we're actually going to talk a lot about today. I'm going to help you guys have a successful business owner mindset, that it is your responsibility from the ground up. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who's getting placed in your downline. And I promise you that you will become very successful if you focus on that rather than, I'm in a dead spot, I don't have this. So just to kind of set the tone, that's the kind of mentality that I had when I signed up. I had a clean slate and I wanted to grow this. I'm going to share a little bit about my story with you guys so that you can understand where I've come from in becoming obsessed with mastering your mindset. Because I know it's one of those things where a lot of people are like, oh no, it's about your attraction marketing and your fitness results, and it's about your personal development. And of course it is, but I feel like before anything else, it's truly about what you're thinking and what you're allowing to control your attitude and your beliefs. Because we all have the same exact how-tos. You all know what you need to hit diamond. You all know what you should be sharing each day. You all know how to do the vital behaviors, right? So why aren't more people successful? And that was the question I asked myself when I started. I was hitting things like Success Club. I love this company. I was bleeding Beachbody. I was obsessed with the opportunity, and I was really looking to make a big income with this opportunity. But I felt like I was missing something. And so when I first started, probably much like Nikki, we didn't have Coach Basics. We didn't have Google Hangouts. We didn't have Zooms and things like that. So we had to do a lot more of the falling on our faces on our own, rather than just having the trainings telling us what to do. So in a way, I feel like it kind of made us a little bit more independent, and we had to just go out there and fail more. And so where I felt strong in the vital behaviors, I knew that the way I was thinking and the way I was feeling was honestly what was holding me back. So I started to look at successful people like my upline, and I'm part of an organization that actually has a lot of male leaders that no one really knows, but they're the highest earners in all of Beachbody. They're amazing. They inspired me so much. Their stories are fabulous. And I just realized that the way that, because when I would ask them a question, their response was a completely different perspective that I was like, wow, I definitely didn't even think like that. I didn't even think to go and have that perspective. So I started to study what they were doing. And every single time I'd ask them a question, it came down to personal growth and personal development and how I was thinking. And this is the key, how I was reacting. So if you feel like you're doing everything that you possibly can, you might just be missing this tiny little aspect that not a lot of people focus on because they think it's not that important. They think it's hocus pocus. I know that there might be people who are already tuning out and they're like, whatever, lady, I don't want to hear it. But I'm just asking you to be open-minded here because it is the reason that I've been able to keep my life together, which I'll share my story, and been able to push through every single day. Like Nikki and I, we face the same exact struggles that every single new coach has and does. We're not an exception to the rule where we don't have challenges and obstacles. So if you can teach yourself how to power through and have the mindset of a successful person, you will be successful. Okay, so that's my little intro, but I'm 30 years old, got married last summer. I live in Northern California in Lake Tahoe. I'm actually originally from Boston, Massachusetts, so I'm 3,000 miles away from home. And I grew up an amazing life. I went to college. I did everything we were supposed to. I got the beautiful resume. I got the fancy corporate job. I worked 60 hours a week before I was even 22 years old. I managed a multi-million-dollar Verizon wireless store. I thought I made it. I thought I did everything that my mom and dad told me to do, but I got a little bored because I'm a little wild child at heart. And when I moved out to California, it's just very different out here. And I just felt like people were dreaming really big out here and they were owning their own businesses. There's a lot of that out here. I live in a tourist town in Lake Tahoe, so a lot of people are out and about during the daytime running their businesses. And here I was going to work. And mind you, when I moved out here, I did transfer my Verizon wireless job and I ended up working for a really horrible boss. And this boss every single day for a year and a half made my life a living hell. And so if you have a job or if you've ever worked with someone where you go into work and you just feel like like the energy is being literally sucked out of you, your soul, I know what that feels like. So again, when I talk about mindset, I know what it's like when things are so hard and so tough that you're like, why me? Why is this happening? I don't deserve this, because that's exactly how I felt too. So I actually went into work one day knowing that I didn't want to be there. And I found out that this manager was transferring me to a different store. So I was really excited about this because I would have done anything to not have to work with her anymore. And I found out that she actually transferred me to a store that was closing. So my 6-year corporate job, because I didn't play into politics very well, as you can see, I say what I want and I just go with it. I came into work and I lost my corporate job. I was 3,000 miles away from home. And because I was so miserable during this time of working with this manager, my boyfriend, now husband, we actually went through a period where we broke up because he was like, I love you so much, but you are so negative that I kind of just can't deal with that anymore. And so that was really hard for me. Lost my job, lost my boyfriend, my grandfather passed away. When it rains, it pours, right? So I took the next year to kind of just try to stand back up on my own 2 feet. And I promised myself the day that I lost that job that I would never, ever give someone the opportunity to do me dirty like that, because I felt like that was so unfair. I served that job well. So that's when I made the decision that I know I'm capable. I have an education. I am highly motivated. What on earth can I do? And that's when I was scrolling on Facebook one day, and my upline is Elizabeth Hartkey. If you don't know her, check her out. She was in the 22 Hard Minute. She's actually been floating around Facebook because she was in the hardcore test group. Amazing results. But I went to high school with her, and it's funny because I knew the person she was in high school, and as we all grow up, just things completely changed for her. I didn't really know it was because of Beachbody. I didn't know the type of money she was making. I didn't even know her 40-pound transformation. I honestly followed her because I was jealous of her photos with her husband. I was jealous that she was happy and had that Beachbody glow. And I was like, dang it, that's all I want. Oh, and like she looks like she's traveling a bit. And so guess what I did? I reached out to her and I signed up, and I was like, oh wait, I don't have a job right now. Well, I had side jobs that I didn't count. I worked at a nightclub. I managed a tanning salon. I did graphic design. That was not a job to me. That was, I just need to pay my bills. So I was like, she started her own business. She's a business owner. I'm going to do this. And so not everyone signs up saying, okay, I am going to move forward. This is what I want to do. But I went out, I bought a planner, a binder, and I honestly treated this like a business. I did my homework and my research. I showed up every day as if I had a boss behind me looking at me. Because if you have a job that you go to right now, when your boss comes around the corner, you're not just like, oh, I don't really feel like working today, right? So you almost have to treat this business like that in some way, shape, or form if you want to get things done. So that's kind of my story and how I got started with Beachbody. And for me, I survived in this business out of inspiration, but also desperation. I don't know how I did it, but I lived off of like $300 a week at one point. I was at $20,000 in credit card debt. So I sat down every single day saying, what can I do? And that's the key word. What action items can I do? Not what can I learn, not what trainings can I do today. What can I actually do in terms of a business building activity? And it worked for a while. And again, that's when I was diving into my personal development and I realized that I was really missing the upper hand where, you know, I was showing up every day, but if I wanted to inspire and lead a tribe, I had to be up here. I had to be leading from the front. So I was reading books that successful people were recommending me. I was having all these aha moments, and that's when I realized the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that they practice good thinking. So what does that mean? Okay, so when you wake up in the morning tomorrow, I want you to just be self-aware of the thoughts that you're allowing into your mind. And I mean that, allowing, yes, you have control over the thoughts that are floating around in your mind. Because typically we wake up and we go, oh, it's raining. Oh man, I have to bring my kids to school. Oh man, I'm so hungry. I don't want to cook breakfast. Oh, I spilled my Shakeology. Oh, I'm at Success Club too. Oh my God, I have to speak on the team call tonight. And we just start rattling off all these things because, you know what, as adults, no one's really reminded us to stop and think about the thoughts that are going around in our mind. So in the morning, a successful person will always place in their mind the things that they are grateful for, the things that they can control, and the things that they're going to do for the day. They focus on what they can control. So if you're having a really bad day, you guys are going to laugh at me, but this is what I do. I put myself in the shoes of Carl Deichler because he is an amazing CEO, right? I treat myself and my business as if I'm running $1 million business because granted, honestly, $1 million is cool, but I just go as big as I possibly can so that I'm thinking in terms of maximums. So again, I wake up thinking, how does Carl Deichler feel right now? So in the morning, I guarantee Carl is pretty overwhelmed. He has a million things going on, but he doesn't have the time to sit there and allow any negative thoughts into his mind because if he does, what happens? What you focus on is what you become. And so successful people practice good thinking. And it's funny because we don't even realize that. But another way I can share this with you guys is it's all about your perspective. So this is something that has stuck out in my mind from my very early days of personal development. And so every single day you have the option from this story to be Sister A or Sister B. And so Sister A and Sister B were sitting down at the kitchen table and Sister A had been working really hard to get into this graduate program so that she could advance in her career and go on to what she wanted to do. She knew it would take sacrifice, hard work, missing outings with her friends on the weekends, probably even some tears. She would have to work on her time management and she would just have to get stuff done. But she knew that all the hard work was going to be worth it. So mom comes over at dinner time and hands Sister A a letter, and it's her acceptance letter. She gets in, she's pumped, she's like, all right, game on. You sign up, right? That's what we do, and we say game on. We surrender to the fact that we know it's going to be hard. Now Sister B is sitting next to her. So are you A or B? Sister B says to her, wow, that really sucks. You have 4 more years of school. You just finished college. I would never want to do that. No, thanks. And so every day when you're challenged with obstacles and, you know, all the difficult things that we have to deal with, whether it's haters or fear or emotions, whatever it is as a business owner, do you treat that challenge when it falls right into your lap? Do you treat it as, oh, I don't really feel like dealing with that today? Or do you say, all right, game on? And I can tell you that when I heard that example, when I'm told what a successful person does, that is what I'm going to do. When I hear what an unsuccessful person does, I want nothing to do with that. So every day when you think, and this is the key, guys, when you feel like a challenge is plopped into your lap and you don't know why it's there, I can tell you why it's there. It is the universe testing you, saying, hey, you know what? You said you really wanted this really bad. So how bad do you want it? Are you willing to just throw your hands up in the air and be Sister B and say no thanks? Or are you willing to show up and push back on the challenge? And this is why mindset is so important, guys, because when you have your mind made up, this decision to become a coach and run a business, it doesn't matter what gets in your way. You're going to show up and you're going to push back harder. And the personal example that I can give you guys is, and Nikki knows a lot about this, but my husband was diagnosed with testicular cancer October 2014. Totally life-changing. We were just like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And this was a huge part of my mindset experience and learning for myself and self-educating. And in that moment, I said, most people would say, hey, Nikki, I have a lot of things going on in my life. I'm gonna let go of my business and focus on my family. But I asked myself, if I let go of this business, what is that gonna do for me? I'm not gonna have the positivity. I'm not gonna have the accountability. I'm not gonna have my family here with me. I call my Beachbody people my family. I'm not gonna have the 24/7 positivity. And I'm not gonna have actionable items that are gonna help me empower myself and feel good that I'm accomplishing something. Because I could have gone in the corner and got really mad at cancer, but what was that going to do? So I dug in deeper to my personal growth journey, and that's basically what Beachbody coaching is. The deeper that you dig into growing and learning and challenging yourself, the more successful you become. So I was treating that situation like that, and I was able to double my income. I finally rank advanced to a 5-star diamond. And so instead of turning away, guys, the perspective of a successful person, can't talk today, they practice good thinking. And so in that moment, I said, what can I do to practice good thinking? And those are the things that I focused on. So fast forward a year later, just 2 months ago, my husband was re-diagnosed, and now the cancer was attacking his lungs. I had to move 4 hours away, and I share this with you guys because it's real life. And if you're not willing to understand how important it is to master your mindset, when life gets hard, when business gets hard, what happens? We typically crumble. And I want you guys to be strong so that you can conquer these challenges like a successful person does, right? Okay, so fast forward to just this past December, it's Christmas, I'm pushing for 5-star elite, like all this stuff, and I felt like the victim, although I wasn't even the cancer patient, but I felt like the victim again, and why is all this happening to me? And I said, oh, here's my test again, and I had to push back harder, and I showed up for my team even more than ever, and it gave me joy, and just like Tony Robbins says, the secret to living is giving. So when I feel like I'm missing out, I think to myself, what can I give? What can I give to my team, to my challengers? And it doesn't have to be a gift, but if you are showing up every day, giving this your all, that is when the biggest rewards come, right? We say your income is a direct reflection of the amount of lives changed, and I agree with that. I truly do. So when this past year came around, it was really tough. And I had to dig deep with personal development, and I had to eat all my own medicine of understanding mindset. But the thing that has really helped me through hard times is I don't stay down for too long. So I want you guys to know that when you're having a hard day and something upsets you, in that moment, get mad about it, get angry at it, but how long do you stay down? That's what a successful person does. They can get down for a second, but it's how fast they get back up. So don't, I don't allow myself to use the words like I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm this, I'm that. I don't talk about the negative things. I definitely notice the situation. I'm self-aware, but then I ask myself, what can I control? What is it that I can focus on in this very moment? Go press play on a workout, hop on a Zoom call with my leaders, go read personal development. That's why this business is unlike anything else, is because it gives us the tools to do bigger and better things in life, not just health and fitness, but truly everything. So when you feel like you're having a bad day, the other thing I want to teach you guys is draw the line in the sand and tell yourself, put your blinders on and focus on one thing, moving forward. When I went through losing my job and things like that, I actually had a hard time getting out of bed. And the thing that I told myself was, I have to move forward. It is my responsibility. My mom isn't going to come save me. My boyfriend wasn't going to come save me. I have to do this for me. And there's something about creating that independence and, you know, that attitude and belief that you can do anything. You cannot do everything now. So I had to tell myself, Colleen, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So I took it one day at a time, drew the line in the sand, and I told myself, I'm moving forward. So the person that taught me a lot in this business in terms of going after what they want is Amy Silverman. That woman is amazing, and I think that she has given herself the permission to go be and do what she wants and go after her goals. Many people too, but as a new coach, for me, it was Amy Silverman. And so if you think about her, she has her blinders on, and I'm a dog mom, so I use the word squirrel all the time. And so she doesn't allow all the distractions and the squirrels to get in her way. Blinders on, and where is she moving? Forward towards her vision and her goal. And if you can figure that out, and it takes time and daily effort, just like your workout, because typically what do? We want to go, oh, why did that just happen? If you can work up that muscle, just like working out, to focus on the thoughts that you're allowing into your mind and to move forward piece by piece by piece, that is when you become unstoppable. That is when you have mastered your mindset. And instead of these challenges completely derailing you, you feel like you're actually conquering the challenges. And that's inspiring to a lot of people in this business. So I want to share just one last thing with you guys in terms of mindset. You do need to empower yourself. So I know I've said this like 3 times already, but it's your responsibility to take the steps outside of your comfort zone. I lived in that victim role of, oh, well, I lost my corporate job. Basically, my life is over, because that's how I felt. Or I could have just given up when cancer happened twice. But I taught myself that I would rather be the victor than the victim. So in those moments, are you the victor or the victim? Empowering yourself, you do need to take a step out of your comfort zone. Whether it's a huge step or a little step, it will empower you. So what does that look like? Sharing your story. What happens every single time when someone shares photos or a story? Great job, Nikki. High five. You look awesome, girl. I've been watching you. You're so motivating. Thank you so much for sharing this. Oh, that's so great. Keep going, Nikki. Like, everyone will love on you, and they will support you if you're putting yourself out there and sharing, right? So if you feel like you need some mojo, that's usually a really good trigger to know that it is time to step out of your comfort zone. The other thing, I'm going fast because I like to respect the half-hour time, and if you guys have questions, I am more than happy to have any at the end. But have you guys ever looked at successful people and wondered, like, how do they become more successful and more successful? And you just feel like success is falling into their lap, right? You're like, how are they doing it? Well, there's one thing that they have done is that they focus on the vibrations that they're putting out there. They are very self-aware of everything that they do. So I take that very serious, in that if I'm mad about something, I'm not putting my angry vibes out there. I handle it with myself. Now I lost my train of thought, but that's okay. Okay, I'll talk about failure, because this is my other favorite part. A lot of people are afraid to do this business because they're afraid to fail, right? They're so afraid that they're going to fail. Whenever I have coaches that want to sign up, but they won't make the jump, or if I have challengers that decide, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I ask them, why? Why have you decided not to do this? And they all say, I'm afraid to fail. And so I have awesome news for every single coach here today, that you actually can't fail at this business. So that lame story we keep telling ourselves is the biggest, fattest excuse in the world. Because if I never hit Success Club in my whole life, am I a failure? Nope. Want to know why? Because I wake up on March 1st and April 1st and May 1st, and we get another chance and another chance. So the fact that you cannot fail at this business is every reason why you should be going for it. Now, the only time that you actually do fail is when you quit or you don't try. But stop saying that you're afraid to fail by trying and making mistakes, because I already told you guys that what does a successful person do? They see challenge and obstacle as opportunity, and you got to show up every day. Failure is only a delay. So my first year of coaching, I did pretty well. 2015, 14 ending, I ended at Premier. And although Premier is amazing, I wanted Elite. So does that make me a failure because I didn't hit Elite? Not in this business. It is only a delay. Because I woke up on January 1st, 2015 saying, I'm hitting it this year, and I worked every single day to get towards it. So it's just a tiny delay. If you don't hit a goal, or if you're not achieving the results that you want, are you a failure? No, just a tiny delay. And then I'll give you guys some of my favorite recommendations for personal development that have completely shifted and changed my life. Everyone already knows You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, of course. It's kind of an older book now, but that is my first book that just opened up. I still actually, almost every single day, reference her book. I have all my little quotations here and tabs. I use it every day. Another book is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. So I have a lot of coaches that tell me, I'm trying. This is what I'm doing. Why aren't I seeing success? And that book was everything for me and my team. We just went from 5-star to 8-star qualifying, and it opened up so many doors for us because, guys, when you make a post or when you do an invite, that's basically 1x, 1 times effort. If we truly want success in all the things that we dream about, you have to up that to about 10 times. So it's just really the expectation of what I think I should be doing to get to where I want to go. And it's a lot smaller than what we think. So in this book, he teaches us how to 10X it. And so that book has been amazing for us. And then the last one, that's my favorite, is The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And that book is going to help you understand why thinking small and the way that we typically think is not helping us. It's actually hurting us. And he taught me how to think big. And just when I thought I was thinking big, he made me think even bigger. So I know this kind of seems all over the place, but I have a long version and a shorter version of my mindset call. And again, I like to respect everyone's time. But guys, I take mindset and the words that come out of my mouth and the beliefs that I have for myself more serious than anything in my life. And because of that, I've been able to see my life go from the darkest place to pinch me, is this real? And I know you hear that all the time, but I'm being honest, and now I live every day to prove to other people that, hey, you don't have to be stuck and you can do whatever it is you want. Anything that they want to do, I will at least help them have the belief that they can do it. So that's my feel.
Oh, wait. Did I unmute myself?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. No, that was perfect. And I have people messaging me and just saying like how much they relate to the call. So that was great. And I wrote down a ton of notes. Obviously, we had Jeremy Red speak at our retreat, the Diamond Retreat, and it had a lot to do with like what you're tuning into in your life, you turn into. Yes. And so that kind of went along with a lot of the things that you were talking about today. And I just love that you kind of talked about you really can't fail at the business, and successful people, especially in this business, they see challenges. They probably see more challenges than others because of how big the business gets, and they see obstacles, but they see those as an opportunity to do something. And so that's just such a it's a mindset thing. So that's huge. And I took like a ton of notes. So I'm excited about it. But, I wrote down some questions as people were going along. You answered one. They were like asking about what you love for personal development, and then you just rattled them off. So that was perfect.
Perfect.
The other was, I'm going to see if what book title was David Schwartz? Was that The Magic of Thinking Big?
Yes, that's that one.
Okay.
I'll give you guys a podcast too. That is my absolute favorite because I read so many books that I got a little bored from like just sitting here and reading. And I'm obviously a type A personality. And I don't know why I was so resistant to podcasts for so long, but Bonnie Engel introduced me to Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. And it's amazing. And here's why I love it. They're short. They're about 25 minutes. I can fast forward through any ads or anything like that in the beginning. And then also he brings on very successful entrepreneurs that have all different backgrounds from all over the world. And he doesn't bring them on to boast about their business. he actually brings them on to talk about their most difficult and daunting entrepreneurial, hard word to say, moments. And so as I was hearing these successful people and what they had to go through to get to where they were going, that's when I realized I'm just not failing enough. I got to get out there. And so that was a really big aha moment for me, and it's full of energy. So I love that podcast.
Perfect. Thank you. And I wrote that down too, because I haven't gotten into them either. So somebody asked, there's just a couple questions, and then I have one because I know you building from a dead spot that I'm going to have other people ask me this. So, and I get this question all the time. But anyway, the first is, in a time period where it just seems like everybody's kind of dabbling in social or network marketing on social media, how do you personally deal with people who seem to be annoyed by it? If they maybe display their displeasure on their page, or you know, they say no shakes, no wraps, no pills are welcome here, whatever. What do you do as far as dealing with that?
So is someone writing on their stuff, or you just happen to notice someone saying that?
It looks like it's just someone is posting about it, you know, like it's not that they're necessarily writing below it. It's just that they're letting people know on their pages that they're annoyed by it. And I could tell you what I would do, but I'm going to ask for.
No, yeah, for sure. I just want to make sure I understood the question.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know sometimes if I just go after a different tribe or something, but I don't get naysayers. I actually rarely come across those people because I think that I'm very specific in who I want to find. So as a successful person practicing good thinking, when I see someone like that, the more someone says no, 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 I don't want them in my life. So I wouldn't even want to associate with them, because I want people that are thinking outside the box. Hey, I came from a corporate world. I came from rules. I went to a Catholic school for 16 years. I know rules. So I want people that are thinking outside the box. So I would just kind of move right on past them. And so if you, I don't actually go after people in the fitness industry, because a lot of people, that's kind of how they act, and they're just in their world. And so I'm looking for, honestly, average people that are not all no, 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 or yes, yes, yes for anything. I just want them to want something more, or have something that I connect with, and then I just make friends with them, and I show them. So here's the deal. Your social media is the glue that holds your business together. What you do behind the scenes is everything, but the conversations you have behind the scenes are also tied to what they're seeing on your social media. So every single post that I do, I'm sharing me and my lifestyle, because if I word vomit Beachbody and all my products, I'm just another network marketer. But if I share my mission, that's another thing you need to know, is what's your mission as a coach? Everyone's is a little different. If I'm sharing my mission and my passion and my excitement for this, then they're not going to see it as network marketing. They're going to see it as Colleen living a rad life. So that's my answer for that, without being long-winded.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that you're always going to come in contact, you could find that if you want to. And I can tell you an example just really quickly that goes along with that is, there was someone who I've known for a long time, and we worked together for a short period of time in an internship, and we've just remained friends on social media and stuff. And you know, she's into her own fitness thing, and I've always respected that and liked her stuff. I've never approached her about the business, anything like that. And she has a lot of Beachbody coach friends. And she had posted publicly a big thing about, you know, I encourage you to find something that you want to do, but please do not work out in your basement. And basically went on to say how awful Beachbody was, you know, which was crazy to me. And it was everything I had in my power to not respond. That, first of all, that got me out of a depression that I was in. It got me in the best shape of my life. And I've tried everything, including the gym and the classes and all of it. And I've helped inspire other people to get started and do, I mean, there's some people that just can't physically, they can't get to the gym, or they can't afford the gym or whatever. And so to be a fitness person who's trying to encourage other people and to say, this isn't going to work for you, this is stupid, this is blah, 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 please just don't do that, was really hard for me not to say anything. And when I approached my husband about it, he was like, he just saw red too. And he was like, you got to say something back. And I was like, no, I don't. And I said, I thought about this for a really long time. I'm not saying anything. I'm not commenting on it because that response will be shown in my thread. That's going to be shown. That's me commenting on something negative when I don't even need to bring attention to it. And I just simply unfollowed her, unfriended her, and blocked her. And now I don't have to see that anymore. She's not affecting my business. She's not affecting my life. She's not affecting my mentality, how I see things. So if there's someone that just really bothers you in the way they post, that's fine. Like, let them do them and just unfollow them, Right. You don't need to watch it. But yeah, so I totally get that. And you're always going to see it. But you're right. I don't see it often. But every once in a while you do. So my question for you is totally off subject, but
okay.
You're built from a dead spot. I get this a lot, people coming to me and asking, so for me, my weak leg is now my strong leg. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of back and forth, but the majority of the time that has become the strong leg. So do you build evenly or do you build 2-to-1 ratio?
So when it took me 18 months to build a team, guys. So when I first started, I was like struggling. I was a high success club earner, so I like made retail commissions for a while, and then I finally got the recruiting aspect. And so it's taken me a long time that I'm finally now 1-to-1. But I have been 2-to-1, not on purpose. It just ended up being like that. So Sean was on my right leg, and then I put 2 people who were discount coaches underneath Sean to make them emerald. And guess what? They both went diamond, which was hilarious. So for income and things like that, in terms of placement, I, for a long, long time, literally until just a few weeks ago, was at 2-to-1. And so that was working out for me. And then I didn't intentionally, but now I'm 1-to-1. So honestly, I tell people whatever is going to get you to what you need in terms of income. I try to help my team understand carryover volume. That's what I have them focus on, because they're like, I'm doing all this work. And I'm like, but look at this potential. Just focus on building this. It was really hard work to build my spouse account because it's basically I had to pick income or recognition. And then at a certain point, you can go for both. But at first, I sacrificed a lot of recognition, but Sean was making great team cycles. So I think I answered.
Yeah, no, I think and honestly, that's kind of what I say is like, look, it's going to be different for everybody. Everybody's business and downline looks so different.
Exactly.
And I feel like if you're building both legs, that you could do either one. I mean, 2-to-1 is going to allow you to maximize, and 1-to-1 as well, because a lot of people don't realize that what is your strong leg is not really a strong leg. We just call it that because it has more volume, but it can switch. People sign up and they're like, oh, I didn't know that we could have like the other leg could ever be the strong leg. I'm like, yes. And then you're not wasting that carryover. So, okay.
It's all about who you recruit, guys. So, I mean, Nikki knows this, but I mean, I recruited my best friend. It took her 8 months to sign up, and she had migraines so bad she had to ice her brain. I'm not kidding. I mailed her a bag of Shakeology, and I was like, drink this, please. She signed up 8 months after I was already a coach. Now she's a 4-star diamond, like quit her job, all this stuff. But like, I never thought that she was going to do it. So you just have no idea. And with that being said, I guess you just have to always be ready to course correct. It's not like you sign up strong leg, weak leg. Like, I'm always changing. So
yeah. Okay. I love that answer. So thank you. Okay. So we are that's it. Thank you so much for hopping on. We're getting a lot of good feedback. So I just appreciate it. Everyone loves you and everything that you bring, and you bring a lot more tough love than I do sometimes. We talked about that on your team call last time. You're like, you were just too nice with that. So I appreciate it. I love getting on with other leaders who can kind of give where I feel like is my weakness. So thank you for that. We appreciate
Thanks for having me.
And have a good day. And thank you all for hopping on. Again, the link is going to be posted in the team page. It's going to be the same. This live link is also your recording link. So anyways, you guys have a great afternoon, and thanks again, Colleen.
You're welcome. See ya.